Is Rhea Ripley about to make Royal Rumble history? Elsewhere, a WWE legend has teased a Rumble return, and an AEW faction has teased a brand new member. It's all in the wrestling news. Hello everybody, Jack and Ross here with the wrestling news. The Rumble's fast approaching, Ross.
It's this weekend, I think.
It is this weekend.
Is it this weekend? It is this weekend.
You think?
Sources are telling me it's this weekend.
And it could be a historic one if WWE are not just teasing us with this, but it's hard to decipher. This all started when Pete Rosenberg spoke to Rhea Ripley in a WWE social exclusive after she beat Nia Jax to retain the title at Saturday night's main event, and she was talking about how good it feels to be Women's World Champion again. But of course, it means that she's probably not going to be in the Royal Rumble because she's the champion.
It would be crazy. She'd have to face herself at WrestleMania if she won.
Yes, she would, which would make certain sections of the fan base really happy, but others would think that's a bit strange.
Yes, it would be. Or she could go for the other title, I guess, and become a double champion.
Rosenberg asked whether she'd considered entering the Rumble as champion, and this is what she said.
Maybe I'll enter the men's one. Dun, dun, dun. The video then ends immediately after that comment, so we don't know if any more is said. So it could be not. Who knows?
I think that it would be kind of like when Nia Jax did it, and the people would go, hang on, but there's a women's rumble as well now, so this is a bit strange, but it's still quite fondly remembered, even the Nia one, I think.
The RKO she took from Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio kicking her in the face.
I saw a clip of it uploaded again recently, and Randy really bumps for her when she hits him with a shoulder block, and he flies on his... He does get his revenge later on. I think Rhea would be... I think it could really work this year, especially if Dom's in the ring.
Yeah.
And he's terrified.
I think it's something they would do with obviously the new Netflix deal and all these apparent new viewers that are watching wrestling. Having someone like Rhea be in the men's rumble and that statement being made of her thwacking a few fools in that match, I think is something they could do. But as for this comment here, I just think it's Rhea Ripley going silly bollocks and going,
she's just being
I could be not, yes.
I think if I had to put money on it, I'd guess that she wouldn't be. But I'm not like completely discarding it as a possibility because it does seem like something they've also teased the possibility of the return of like mixed matches in 2K25 and everything.
Yes.
So it might be leaning in that direction again. We'll have to wait and see. If Rhea does enter the men's Royal Rumble, she will become just the fourth woman in history to do so after Chyna, Beth Phoenix and Nia Jax as well. It would also make her the first women's champion to enter the men's Rumble. Yeah, fair enough. I just saw that stat there and I thought, all right, I'll read that out. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, a WWE legend who I thought was a Hall of Famer, but I Googled and they're actually not.
My goodness me.
I know, has teased a return for the Royal Rumble. With just days to go, there's been a lot of speculation over who could be entering both the men's and the women's matches. And over the weekend, there was a fan-made graphic of possible entrants in the women's Royal Rumble, which also featured former champion, former legend of the division, Michelle McCool.
Yeah, and she responded by saying, "Real talk," in all caps. "Since retiring, I've never been in any serious talks with anyone about another run. Not saying it wouldn't be nice. Confident I can go. So here's my question. All you gotta do is declare yourself these days for the Rumble. Hashtag flawless. Sorry, y'all. Saw this and truly made me wonder. Hashtag WWE. Hashtag Royal Rumble. Hashtag is it really that simple? Hashtag who do I call? Triple H."
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Yes.
Also, her former tag partner recently, Layla L., who was part of the Lay Cool tag team with Michelle McCool, also had teased on social media that she could be entering the Rumble too. I don't know why Michelle's acting like she's like a plucky underdog. She's been in like nearly every women's rumble.
And she'd dominate. Was it the last one or the one before where she was in there for ages, battering folk everywhere?
She's definitely had a good run in the women's rumble since they've been invented, despite her not actually being a wrestler anymore.
Yeah,
she does really, really well.
She just says she's confident she can go. Again, I think it's the one match of the year where you would like to see a couple of older names come back and replace those whippersnappers who are up and coming up the card. It's the one match. Because that's the one thing that's been lacking of the last year, especially, is the big surprise return in the Rumble from someone from years gone by. So I wouldn't mind seeing it. Lay Cool getting back together would be fantastic.
That would be fun, and it would be like, it wouldn't just be what we've already seen in previous years. Oh, here comes Michelle McCool. She's going to throw a few people out. If it was with Lay Cool, it would give it a bit of a different slant.
Yeah,
as well.
and you can see them going up against Chelsea and Piper. It
yes.
writes itself.
It does, absolutely. And you're right, because the Rumble's like the one night of the year when you can maybe forgive the veterans being prioritised in some spots more than
only two or three. I'm not asking for half the card to get shafted, but
No, and I think that especially in the women's match when there's just naturally a less deep roster and everything, it's maybe a bit more forgivable.
But now with TNA, who knows?
That's a very good point.
Who knows?
Who knows? Heading over now to AEW, there was a fantastic vignette, I have to say, on AEW Collision. It was a meeting of the Don Callis family at Don Callis's lovely snowy mansion.
What a lovely house it is. Just watched upstairs there. Fantastic scenes.
Mansion might be the wrong word, like a manor, like an old manor house.
Can you imagine going on a ski holiday if you're very rich and that being the place you go to?
Yeah. That's where they all met. And then they sat around this big dramatic dinner table. It was Don, Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Brian Cage and Lance Archer.
I didn't recognise Brian Cage. He looks very different.
In street clothes.
From side profile as well. His nose is a lot more like a ski slope than you would think.
And they were all sat down.
Yes.
He's a very tall man. It's great analysis from me and you. They were talking about Fletcher and Takeshita's upcoming tag team match against Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. And Brian Cage reassured a concerned Don Callis, it's still 5-on-2, Don.
Yeah, and then Don replies, well, Kenny Omega wasn't even focused when he won multiple world titles under my tutelage way back when. And then Don also adds, who said there's only 5 of us? Dun, 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 which obviously leading people to believe there could be more recruitments coming in Australia.
Who could you see?
I don't know.
I've got a pick, but it's a New Japan-based wrestler, so he gets I imagine well, it's not a short flight, is it? But a shorter flight from Japan over to Australia. Jeff Cobb, he's done the hired gun thing before, hasn't he? For the Inner Circle, I want to say.
Yeah.
But that would be my guess, but I honestly have this could be anyone.
Could it be someone on the Australian scene? Who isn't even signed to AEW, who just does it as like a hired gun sort of angle for the night?
That would be a big mistake because Will Ospreay's friends with everyone in the Australian scene. Do you know when he went over there and like made friends with everyone? Yeah. It's strange. I know who it is.
Do you?
Sorry, I just got so excited. I've solved it. I feel like Sherlock. Mark Davis.
Yeah, oh yes, that would make a lot of sense.
Would he forgive Kyle?
Oh yeah, he's picked Kyle over Will there when he went more towards Will than. Did he go more towards Will than Kyle before?
Well, I think he felt betrayed by Kyle.
Yeah,
but I think
maybe he pretends and Whizzle Wazzles Kyle while in the act of doing the gooning.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I think that Ospreay and Omega have got to win despite this.
Yeah.
Oh,
aye. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think so.
I think so too.
Kenny's just come back. He can't losing to Brian Cage. Sorry, he's not even in the match, is he? To Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita.
No, I think they've got to win. Yeah, surely. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see maybe a little surprise or two. Elsewhere, we saw another great. It was actually a very noteworthy collision this week. We've often criticised it for being a bit irrelevant.
Hobbs and Big Bill having a big moment as well with a big car park brawl that turned into a shoot happening on the stage with bricks and whatnot. But the biggest happening of the night has got to be what we're about to talk about now.
Yes, because it's now been revealed that we're not just going to get Toni Storm versus Mariah May at Grand Slam Australia. We're going to get timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Mariah beat up the young rookie Toni Storm in the ring on Collision, but then as she was leaving, Toni got on the mic and said, she said, what made you think I'd forgotten about you?
Yes,
in her old accent.
It's been a performance of a lifetime, and then timeless Toni Storm makes a comeback. She takes off her clothes to reveal her sort of timeless Toni Storm in-ring attire.
Her old school looking
Wipes
stuff.
the makeup across her face like all actresses from the 1950s did, apparently. I don't know. Yeah. And then she threatens to rip Mariah May's tits off.
It's a fantastic... I can't believe she's had us all fooled for this long.
It was going to go one of two ways. Either she actually did have amnesia or she was doing what she's done here. I'm happy the way it's gone that way there because it was shades of when Cactus Jack revealed himself.
Yes, it was.
Against Triple H, and Triple H didn't know what to do with himself.
Toni Storm continues to be one of the best character gimmick type wrestlers in wrestling today. Yeah. And at the risk of repeating myself, she's got to win.
Of course she does. It's Australia.
It's in Australia.
Yes.
Although timeless Toni Storm is British, I believe.
Aye. That's a good point, that. Well, we have links, don't we? We're all friends.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
No, I think it's... Yeah, that's looking like it'll be... I mean, I wouldn't be... I would be quite annoyed if Mariah won. The story's there for timeless Toni.
I wouldn't be against Mariah winning.
No.
Imagine the scenes if she did. There'd be a meltdown in Australia, so there would be.
There would be. I think it's got to be Toni. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. And finally, this one comes courtesy of Fightful, who report that those in AEW were understandably pumped for Collision this past weekend because they feel it did really well. Tony Khan has been said to have been more in the weeds creatively of late, which I guess means more involved.
Yeah. Which is weird because obviously the Death Rider stuff, a lot of people don't like that. But as I say, that Collision this week was a big upturn compared to what it's been over recent months.
I think so as well. And I was surprised when I heard this because I've always assumed, and this has just been my own speculation, I've always assumed that when AEW has a problem, it's because Tony Khan isn't delegating enough and he's trying to take on too much himself. And that's why everything starts to feel a bit samey and a bit wishy-washy. But this would conflict. I mean, I have no idea what's going on backstage. This would run against that theory, saying that now that Tony's getting his hands more involved in all the pies, it's refreshed the show a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe he was delegating too much.
Maybe he was. I've got no idea. What do you think? Let us know in the comments down below, because it was a much better collision than it has been over the last few months.
Yes, thank you very much for watching this news video. We may be back later on with another one. We don't know as of yet if there's enough news. There's all the Rumble coverage coming up this week as well. We're doing pictures
on Wednesday.
You're also streaming on Wednesday, not Tuesday this week.
Yeah, I'm busy Tuesday. Well, I'm getting tattooed tomorrow afternoon, so I can't do it. I can't be in two places at once. Yeah, Wednesday at 4 o'clock, and I'll be out the studio by 6. So Jack and Oak can set up for their twitching, which commences at 6:30. I do declare.
No, it's 6 p.m.
Bollocks!
It's all right.
I thought you always had half an hour.
No, we started.
Jesus, I'm very sorry.
It's all right.
I'll be out earlier than 6.
As long as it gives you enough time to do it.
Well, I'll start a bit early. Don't you worry, I'll be out.
Okay, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I've been Jack. This has been Ross, and we'll see you very soon.